Shalom YouTube. Hey guys, it's Fletch. Welcome back to OTH. So today I wanted to talk to you. The other day I was talking to one of my friends and mentors, Pastor Joe Fox, and we were talking about Trump and what's going on with Trump and why the media is behaving in the way that they are. And one thing that we both kind of seem to agree on is that everything that the media is doing is intentional. They're not doing it because they don't know what they're doing, or they're just so stupid that they can't get it right, whatever. And in a previous video I mentioned that there's a book out there called Rules for Radicals, and in this book it talks about how that you can persuade those around you or a society by your failure to comply, number one, and then number two, subterfuge, basically. And so what that is I'll give you an example. So if I'm not treating someone properly, let's say I'm telling lies about them intentionally behind their back to make them sound and look bad. Well, so my end goal in doing that is that I want people to think less of the person that I'm talking about, and I want to ruin them. So I proactively go out and start lying to other people even more so, and telling them that the person that I'm intentionally telling lies about, that they are telling lies about me, and I make up lies that they told about me. And the purpose of this and the reason for it is so that when it finally starts to come out for people who are in our sphere of influence, whatever that is, that could be on a national level, that could be on a state level, it might just even be in your own fellowship or church or club, whatever the case may be. But the purpose of that is so that when the truth starts to come out that I've been telling lies about whoever that person is, that I've already laid the groundwork that they were telling lies about me. So now no one really knows who to believe. And it's just like, I don't know, some of you guys, you might be old enough to remember, but like on the old Perry Mason shows and things like that. And, as the old saying goes, once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. It's like trying to put toothpaste back in a toothpaste tube. And so the prosecuting attorney or the defendant's attorney would say something outrageous and then quickly say retracted right after that, because they know that once they've said it, that the seed is planted, so to speak. And so that's exactly what we are seeing happening right now with Trump. Just yesterday, Comey admitted that President Trump was not under investigation personally at any time during this whole exercise, but yet, those who are leading the charge, shall we say, that Trump was colluding with the Russians to hack our elections, yada yada yada. So anyways, the point or the gist of this is that's exactly what they were doing, right? Oh, they subterfuged Bernie, right? They cheated him, and they were doing it, and that's exactly what they're doing. All of the things that they were actually doing, they started accusing Trump of it, so that when the truth started to come out about Trump not really doing these things, that they're not losing as much face, number one, and number two, a lot of people don't know who to actually believe, and that's all very, very intentional. And hopefully more and more people are starting to catch on to this, and they're starting to see exactly what's going on. And yeah, the mainstream media is certainly complicit in this whole issue. You know, some you know, news commentators actually even said we couldn't have helped Hillary any more than what we already did. We were all rooting for her. I believe that was on CNN on the election results night. All right, so the purpose of sharing that with you, you know, that basically they're intentionally subterfuging Trump, and basically what they're doing is by doing this, that they're staying in control. The media is. And the purpose of that is to keep Trump chasing all these little fires that have to keep being put out, and to keep him busy, which is, you know, a strategic action, so to speak. And as I can say, strategic strategy. That's like a double negative or whatever. But anyways, the whole point in doing that is to keep Trump and his administration off balance. And so they're always on the defensive. And not only that, but the left, right, has gone, you know, full loco-left. And, you know, just, you know, pushing their own agenda even that much harder. And so the whole point, the whole idea then of what Trump needs to do is Trump needs to go further right. He needs to stop worrying about what the left thinks of him, about what moderates think of him, and do what the American people elected him to do. You know, the platform that he's running on. And a lot of those things, you know, he was and is doing. You know, healthcare obviously is still up in the air, so to speak, but many of those things he's actually doing. And you know, it's kind of funny. I read or heard something the other day saying something about that Trump will go down in history as being an infamous president. And the reason why is because he actually does what he said he will do. Oh, it cracked me up. It's just how ironic that is, that you know, he goes out on this platform that no one thinks he'll ever get elected on it. He gets elected on it, and you know, he's actually, to the best of his ability, I think, anyways, you know, think that he's, you know, actively out there trying to make all of his campaign promises come true. I guess that's the best way to put it. Will he be able to do all that? Yeah, I don't know. But one thing I will say, though, is, you know, for those of you that would tend to agree with, shall we say, a conservative viewpoint or perspective, one thing that hopefully that we can agree on is that, you know, whether you like Trump or not, he's sure a lot closer to you know, our belief system and values than what the left is or what Hillary is. And so some of these folks in the Republican Party, the Never Trumpers or whatever, they need to get on board and, you know, start supporting the president and the initiatives that the American people elected him on as the president of the United States Corporation. And yes, I said that on purpose. So in closing, the media is not bumbling idiots. They know exactly what they're doing. It's a strategy. And, you know, they're intentionally out there trying to get him to be on the defensive all the time, defending all the outrageous claims that they're making about him. And the way that Trump can combat that is go further to the right and you know, start actually, you know, doing the things that the American people elected him or hired him to do. In the long run, you know, will Trump be the savior of the good old US of A? Time will tell. Personally, I definitely don't look at him like that as a quote-unquote person of faith. I do not believe that Trump is the quote-unquote savior, and I don't mean like in a blasphemous way that, you know, he's taken the place of Jesus or Yeshua, but that somehow he's going to save America. He's like, those of you that are students of the Bible think, you know, some people think he's like a Cyrus, and that America is going to be saved by him, and you know, Yah's people are going to be saved by him, God, Yah. And I just don't see it. Hopefully I'm wrong, you know, because that's like, you know, betting that the pilot that's flying your plane is going to wreck, right? You know, wishing the worst for the president of the country that you live in is probably not a good thing. But anyways, just to kind of finish up the thought, yeah, Trump needs to go further right, stop worrying about the left and the moderate right, and the further they go left, the further he needs to go right. And speaking of Trump, while he's part of the subject matter at hand, I also think that it's very telling that Trump went and kissed the Pope's ring. I also think that it's interesting how that, you know, a lot of the women, radical women's liber type people are out there, you know, trying to take shots at Trump because he supposedly said this or he supposedly said that. No one has an issue that when you go and appear before the Pope, that if you're a woman, your head's going to be covered. That's all there is to it. And, you know, you've got to be like a head of state or, you know, a president's wife, you know, king's wife or something like that. But if you go appear before the Pope, your head's going to be covered. Well, you know, how sexist is that? Right? You know, who is he, you know, to be able to tell others that may not necessarily believe with his religious belief that, hey, you want to come talk to me? You cover your head. All right, well, thanks, guys. I hope you're having a blessed and wonderful day. Today is prep day for us, so we're getting ready for Shabbat tomorrow. I hope that your weekend is well and blessed, and we'll talk to you soon. Shalom.